Hello, welcome to another V's Cards video. My name is Veronika Čuić. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. In this video we're going to make two simple type of cards, one SIP card plus and also a card which has the designer series paper as the star of the show. So we're going to love it and chop it. I'll also be offering you some free tips along the way. Okay, let's get started. I'm focusing on sympathy cards, but you could change up the sentiment to suit your needs, like happy birthday. I thought that leafy type of stamps would be perfect for sympathy. I'm using one of my favourite stamp sets, which is a freebie from Celebration, and it is now retired, but I'm going to show you some current stamps that you can purchase on the website as an alternative. Please bear in mind that when I say current, I'm referring to the time that I have produced the video, so there may be some changes since then, so do check the website to see what is available. One of my tips for today is to always use a larger clear block rather than a small one. Don't try to squeeze a stamp onto a clear block that isn't the right size. Go for the larger size so that you're making sure you're covering all parts of the stamp. Prior to stamping onto the card front, I like to give it a quick practice on some scrap piece of paper. Because I'm stamping on the edge of the card front, I'm going to be stamping off and I want to protect my workspace, so I'm using some scrap piece of paper underneath my card. The piercing mat behind it acts as a soft cushioning surface for bounce, which creates a smooth, even finish for photopolymer stamping. As you can see, I'm rotating or moving around that stamp as I'm stamping and allowing for some of that to stamp off the card front and onto the scrap piece of paper to create a leafy frame around the sentiment. Make sure that you clean your stamps after each ink colour so that you're avoiding any mix-up or contamination in your ink pads. Smaller image stamps are also great to decorate your envelope, so don't forget to do that too. Have you noticed my registered trademarks, Soul Connect and Celebrate? I wanted to spend a quick moment with you to explain what that means to me. For me, these cards, it's not just about cards, it's about creating opportunities for one or more souls, reaching out to others to celebrate friendships and family, to share love and support in difficult times, sharing the joy of special occasions and milestones, and finally sharing in the joy of the fun paper crafting experience with others. If you're looking for new and creative ways of connecting with others and you are in Australia, send me an email to be added on These Cards VIP list. My email address is in the description below, so contact me and I'd love to assist you with all your papercraft needs. The reason why I'm calling this card a SIP card plus is because we're using stamp, ink and paper and plus a little bit of bling. So if you have any self-adhesive gems, you might want to add that to your card as well. I like to arrange my embellishments in threes or odd numbers and in a triangular shape, as it appears to be more visually pleasing for the eye and creates a bit of interest. So that's simple card number 1, or SIP plus card, and now we're up to the second card. For this simple card, we're making the designer series paper or the pattern paper the star of the show, and dividing a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper, we're able to make 6 card fronts. This time I've used A4 cardstock. I've cut in half and scored to create 2 greeting card bases. I'm trimming down the top of the designer series paper that needs just a very thin trim to fit the card front. You'll only need to do that with 3 of the 6 pieces that you've cut. Next, we're going to cut some neutral coloured twine and add that to the card front before we adhere it to the card base. Are you annoyed when a spool of ribbon or twine goes rolling off your work surface, off the table and somewhere on the floor? Well, don't worry about it. Again, I'm just about to show you a cool crafty tip to save you that problem. And the answer is a glass jar. That's right, a glass jar. Place a spool of ribbon or twine inside the glass jar and that'll stop it from rolling off your work surface while you're working. I'm wanting to create the illusion that twine has been wound around the card front at least 3 times. But to save on a little bit of twine, I'm going to actually cut 3 pieces of twine, roughly the same width, which would be wider than the card base itself, and then I'm going to adhere it to the card, the designer series paper, from the back 3 times. After I peel the backings of the tear and tape with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm going to add a bit more tear and tape along the back of that designer series paper so that it will stick nicely on the card front. It's time to stamp the sentiment and then I'm going to punch it out using my new punch. Finally, I add a few dimensionals at the back of that punched out shape and then add some bling, of course. I find a beautiful butterfly is a nice symbol for the afterlife. You could also use Wink of Stella to create some subtle glitter along some parts of that cloud for a bit more interest, or leave it out altogether, that's up to you. In the next image you'll see that I've stepped it up and I've used some gilded leafing to add a lot more interest than just a Wink of Stella. Well, that's it for this video. I hope I've inspired you. Please take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Happy crafting.